Hey, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Super Week in Smart Homes. This week on SWISH, we're going to talk about CES. We're going to do a quick wrap up for you. All right, guys, to wrap up CES for you, we're going to talk really topics, right? Instead of going into all of the different products that came out, I think it makes a lot more sense just to talk about some of the biggest topics that I noticed coming out during CES. Every year at CES, there's a ton of random products that come out, so I don't think it makes a ton of sense to cover everything. I could easily do my top favorite products or things like that, but what I think is the most valuable for today is to talk about the three topics that I think were most important at CES. That goes, and for me, what that was voice control. Smart voice assistants like Google Home, Alexa, etc. Smart appliances and TVs. So to start, right, we're going to talk about the voice assistants. So I'm going to just talk. So starting with that, right. Number one, I think the highlight to me of the voice assistant world, specifically voice assistant world, were two things. Number one is Google coming out with their display product to compete against the Amazon Show, I believe it is, which is their Alexa display. I think Google's looks a lot more well done. Alexa's Show, from the very beginning, it didn't look very nice. It didn't look very well done, whereas Google's has a very nice design. I think it's coming at a really good time, as you're seeing a lot of security providers and camera providers integrating with the Google Show or Google Display. I don't think they have a name for it. Now they're doing one with Lenovo, so I think they're probably just going to be integrating it into other people's products. It's kind of how it looks like, other people's hardware. And that's going to be a really interesting part of that. It does all the same things that Amazon was doing with theirs, like being able to watch different things. Unlike Amazon's, you can obviously watch YouTube on Google's. What else were some other interesting things about it? Yeah, I mean that was the main thing. I just think from a looks perspective, it was a lot nicer. They're coming out with Lenovo has theirs. Sounds like JBL, Sony, and LG are also going to be coming out with some. So really interesting in terms of what they're doing. I think the Lenovo one at least is a lot nicer, and I look forward to kind of seeing what happens there. Another thing from a smart personal assistant perspective or smart voice assistant perspective is Samsung's coming out with their Bixby product. What's interesting about this is just it's going to fit into the whole Samsung ecosystem. I think that's really where it's going to be important. Samsung has smart things. They have a lot of different appliances. They have TVs, etc. And the whole thing with Bixby is that it's going to be able to work a lot more seamlessly with all of those products, right? Those products integrate today with things like Amazon Alexa, Google Home, but now Samsung's really trying to develop, and they talked about this at CES, is an entire IoT platform, which they already have a little bit with smart things, but it's not the most reliable product, being that everything has to go out to the cloud and things of that nature. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how they continue to build on that platform and integrate Bixby on that as well. Going into that integration with products like Samsung, etc., the second idea that was really displayed at CES was the idea of the smart appliances. Every year you see this, right? There's more and more smart appliances coming out. This year, right, there were microwaves by Whirlpool. LG had a InstaView refrigerator. So essentially the door on the refrigerator is blank, but it also can turn into an actual screen. So it's I think it's OLED is actually what the screen is. So when it's off, it's blank. It's clear, so you can look in and see what's in your fridge, or you can turn it on and do different things, doodle on it with the kids. I think it integrates with the Ring. I think theirs integrated with the Ring. And things like that. Whirlpool had a microwave, oven, dryer. So just a whole lot coming there. In the past, I've always been very anti like the smart appliances, but I'm starting to come around to them. We've been doing a lot of the professional grade, products out there, like from a control system standpoint, like Savant, like Crestron, Elan, etc. But I think what all of these products are doing with Alexa is really interesting and making that a lot more of the hub of your